Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Sam Nova again, and today let's talk about E3, the Electronic Gaming Expo 2021. This is the first E3, since 2019 because E3 2020 was canceled for obvious reasons due to the COVID-19 pandemic and also due to the fact that they weren't able to do it in person last year or digitally. And this year they didn't do an in-person show, conference, or expo. They did it digitally, where they live streamed it. They did video instead of doing the standard, showcase they do, where they have hundreds of people come in, which was definitely interesting. And I really wasn't looking forward to E3 this year. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like E3 has kind of been a thing that's been going downhill since 2017. 2017 was, I remember, the first E3 I was not excited for. I was not really blown away by. It was very mediocre. It just felt like a drab husk, and I feel like every E3 has been going down that path since 2017. Because I feel like the last year I really enjoyed E3 was 2016. Where we saw games like God of War, Horizon, and many more, including Scalebound, rest in peace. But I'll get into that, but I'll talk about that some other day. But my overall thoughts of E3 is it's been getting worse and worse each year, and I feel like 2018 was a decent E3, but it was not great, and then E3 2019 was, a lack of better words, incredibly disastrous. Sony didn't show up, and they didn't show up again this year. They weren't going to show up to E3 2020 either, but again, that last year didn't happen, so this has been a very strange build-up because there's been a lack of hype. Like, this has been a week just everywhere. Everybody's just been kind of like not really that excited, and I did have my hopes of what games we'd see and what I thought of it, so so going into this E3 I felt really weird because it wasn't going to be like the big in-person conference, which is understandable. And I thought this E3 was. I went in with very low expectations, and I feel like it wasn't as bad as I was expecting, but it was not a good E3 at all. I thought it was a very just boring and just underwhelming one. And that's not to say there weren't good games, but it just felt like it was just a lack of just felt like nobody cared. And you could really tell that especially from a few of the conferences. Capcom held just a standard one, which was just barely a conference. They barely announced anything. Gearbox did this really awkward, weird Randy Pitchford. I just don't like him as a person. I think he's a fucking weirdo, and it just was a waste. That was a waste of time. I didn't watch it, but I heard from a lot of people, and I watched a little bit of the highlight from it. And it was genuinely bad. Ubisoft, they tried, it seemed, but it was just felt like it was just nothing but just a waste. Like, they announced a new Mario Rabbids game, and the new Avatar game looked kind of cool, but I didn't really care for Rainbow Six Extraction or Quarantine, which it's called Extraction now due to the fact that they had to change the title. It just felt like Ubisoft, from what I can tell, was just a pretty big disappointment. Not expecting. I didn't really expect anything from Ubisoft. Square Enix, they had a pretty interesting showcase. I wouldn't say interesting. I'd say more mildly mediocre one. They opened the show with a Guardians of the Galaxy game coming out this year, which I'm looking forward to, but I'm a little skeptical. And I think it looks cool. It could be really good, but I do have my cautions because I did not like Avengers at all. I've heard this is going to be single player. It's not going to be a live service, which, thank God, so hopefully this is good. I'm looking forward to that. And then they showed off Babylon's Fall, which I was extremely excited for because I'm a huge Platinum Games fan. I love their games. I love Nier Automata, Vanquish, Bayonetta, Metal Gear Rising. Wonderful 101 I haven't played yet, but I need to. But I was really excited for Babylon's Fall, and then I found out it's going to be a live service. It can be played offline, unlike Godfall, but it definitely gave me some concerns. And then I can't remember the next game they showed, but they showed, I think, I can't remember the title of it, but I know it, Stranger Than Paradise. I can't remember the title for it. Please let me know what it was in the comments. But I know the demo dropped for it, and it was the demo was unplayable, and it corrupted a lot of people's hardware, which good thing I didn't download it, but it was a disaster. But and they also announced a lot of the old Final Fantasy games were coming to smartphone, like the first 6 games, but they were only coming to phone and Steam, but no consoles like the PS4, Xbox One, or Switch, which is kind of insulting, but it's also kind of weird that they did that. Microsoft, they had a pretty good press conference, definitely better than the last few I mentioned. They actually had games. I mean, there wasn't as much gameplay. There were some games we saw, like Stalker looks really cool. Outer Worlds 2 I'm looking forward to. Plague Tale Requiem really surprised me. Forza, I'm not really a big racing fan, but it looked incredible. I thought they had a lot of cool games to show off, and they just had the extended showcase the other day, which we got an update on Hellblade, which is what I was hoping for. But yeah. And then I honestly think the winner of E3 this year was really Nintendo, like with how they did their showcase. They just were like just throwing games at us. That was a great showcase. It wasn't the best direct, but it was a really good E3 showcase because it showed what gave people what wanted, like Breath of the Wild 2. It was disappointing that we didn't get Bayonetta 3, which was pretty underwhelming. I have a friend of mine I work with who was really disappointed we didn't see Hollow Knight Silksong. I don't know when that game's going to happen, but it's still a little underwhelming. But it was definitely interesting to see more Breath of the Wild 2, because it looks crazy. But to me, the best part of this entire E3 for me is the fact that we're getting a brand new Metroid game, Metroid Dread. Holy shit, I want to do a video discussing this, but oh my god, that won E3 for me. That was the best part of the entire E3 conference. I know people have been saying Elden Ring, but for me, Metroid Dread, that was amazing to finally see that actually happen. And it's coming out this year, and I am extremely excited. And that look was probably the best thing I saw all E3. And don't get me wrong, Advance Wars is coming back, which is also really cool. I never got to play those games. I played the second one, but I never played any of the others, but it's still pretty awesome. But besides Nintendo's E3, Nintendo Direct for E3, I don't really see a point of E3 happening anymore. And it definitely feels like we're going... One sec. Really hoping I'm still in the frame there, but I'm really kind of just questioning why E3 still happens anymore. Like last summer, we didn't even have an E3 for the obvious reasons, but I just feel like E3 has just become less and less meaningful each year because there's constant leaks. For example, I remember back in 2018, there was a huge amount of games that were leaked by Walmart Canada. Like there was Rage 2, Forza Horizon 4. It was called Gears of War 5. There was just so many games leaked, and it's like, why should I be excited anymore about E3? It's like everything is leaked all the time. Like I think Nintendo does it well where they have their directs throughout the year. Granted, I haven't liked every direct, but I also understand why Sony dropped out, because why even bother doing these E3 anymore? Considering how I've heard 2019 had the lowest attendance since 2005. Had a horrible attendance, it was half empty from what I'm heard. And then also there was hundreds upon thousands of journalists that got their information leaked on the ESA's website with their phone number and address, and it was just a fucking disaster. And they put out the most pathetic sorry, and I'm just like, I don't know why we're still attempting with E3. Honestly, no one really like, this E3 was a perfect example. I mean, I understand why they couldn't show off that many games like Ubisoft, because some of the games developments like Skull and Bones, Beyond Good and Evil 2, and so many others are having probably development issues due to COVID, but I just feel like if you're not going to bring your A game to these E3 showcases anymore, what's the point? And I really just think E3 is on its last leg, and I don't know if there's going to be an E3 2022. Who knows? But I just really don't know. And that really concludes my thoughts. And I also wanted to give up my top 10 my top 10 favorite games from E3 this year, because there was there was some great stuff I saw at E3 this year. So I'm gonna pull it up real quick. So, anyways, let me see. I just gotta pull up my notes real quick. So, here are the best games from E3 2021 for me. So, number 10, Mario Rabbids King Sparks of Hope, Stalker 2, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, Elden Ring, The Outer Worlds 2, Advanced Wars Reboot Camp, A Plague Tale Requiem, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Metroid Dread. Those were the best games I saw from E3 this year, but yeah. So anyways, I just wanted to get that out of the way. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.